Hey guys, it's Nick from This here. I just got back from the hospital yesterday after my very first surgery, so I'm not feeling the greatest, but the show must go on. I luckily had the script all made up and was pretty much ready to go with this video, and I'm just sitting around at home right now anyway, so let's go. I'm back with another Mortal Kombat 1 character essay, this time all about the growth of Syzoth, better known as Reptile. Reptile is a Zaterran warrior who debuted in the very first game, not as a playable fighter, but as a secret boss you could fight. He was Shang Tsung's loyal servant and protector, fighting from the shadows. He made his playable appearance in Mortal Kombat 2. Shao Kahn offered to release the enslaved Zaterran race if Reptile did his bidding. He briefly served Shinnok before going back to Shao Kahn. By deadly alliance, Reptile starts to lose his sanity and no longer masks himself as a human. This is where we start seeing the reptilian fighter's true form regularly. After Shao Kahn is assassinated by the Deadly Alliance, it's actually just a clone of Shao, but Reptile doesn't know this, Reptile wanders outworld aimlessly, lost without a master to serve. He then runs into Natara and decides to serve her, as he can't live on his own apparently. Not long after he starts serving Natara, he realizes he's been a pawn in her affairs as well. This guy can't catch a break, constantly being used and abused by different Mortal Kombat villains. When Reptile goes to confront Natara, he comes across the egg containing Onaga, which explodes, making him the vessel for Onaga's resurrection. So in the original timeline, if you didn't notice the pattern, Reptile was quite literally just a lapdog who jumped from leader to leader and wasn't a very interesting or independent character. While he was a very loyal one, it's written almost like he has no other purpose in life than to be some baddie's bitch. The NetherRealm Studios era timeline didn't do much to improve Reptile either, again being Shao Kahn's henchman before moving on to Kotal. No significant character arc here, and he was excluded from Mortal Kombat 11, so we don't even really know what ends up happening to him before Liu Kang wipes the timeline. If I had to bet, I think he would have just served Kronika. Now, here's where Reptile's growth and writing really starts to improve. Out of all the character changes in Mortal Kombat 1, I have to say Reptile's was my favorite. They finally gave my lizard lad some justice and developed his character more. Mortal Kombat 1 changed his character for the better, writing him to be a sympathetic villain that is only working for evil to protect his family. In this timeline, his Zaterran race isn't enslaved or killed, but actually alive and well, and they've all shunned Syzoth as an outcast because he's the only Zaterran with the ability to shapeshift into a human form. I really enjoyed how NetherRealm Studios handled the different forms in this game, as there's a big fan divide between his human and reptilian forms, so they met in the middle and gave us both in this game. It sure beats the hell out of Lizard Reptile in his classic outfit like Mortal Kombat X tried to pull off.
Salam alaikum, alaikum salam.
Reptile actually scored in this timeline, finding himself a wife and even having a child with her. That is, until Shang Tsung took them captive and forced Reptile to work for him for their safety. Unlike the previous timelines though, Reptile doesn't take this laying down, and finally breaks out from his henchman role. It's revealed when he finally defies Shang that his family's been dead for a long time and that he'd been slaving away all these years for nothing. This enrages Syzoth and has him siding with Earthrealm to face the common enemy. We even see Reptile kick General Shao's ass in the story, which is a huge character development from his previous iterations. In his arcade ending, Reptile is rewarded by Empress Melina for his efforts, becoming her Zaterran ambassador. Here he learns from secret records that he isn't the only one of his race able to shapeshift into a human form, but the only one alive, as they were all killed off by their own government to avoid spreading this mutation. Syzoth vows to find who's responsible for this and put an end to it. I admire how Reptile has become a confident and determined person in this timeline, serving nobody but the greater good. Another interesting development in this timeline is confirmed in intro dialogues, that Ashra and Reptile are romantically interested in one another. Who would have ever imagined those two would get together? A demon reptile hybrid baby is a great recipe for a future badass fighter. I'd take that over the Kombat kids any day. I'm really glad to see Reptile finally getting some good writing and character development. It's tiring seeing these characters play the same role over and over again after countless games, and Reptile has always been a beloved character among fans, so it's about damn time he got a happy ending. Well, kinda. I mean, if you consider your family being killed happy. Yeah, you know what I mean. He definitely has a more fulfilling life and purpose in the story than the old games, and I'm thrilled about it. Mortal Kombat 1 Reptile has integrity, morals, and a strategic mind, something I never thought I'd be able to say about the character. Without a doubt, this is my favorite iteration of Reptile. He's always been a fun character to play gameplay-wise, but MK1 doubled down on this and made him even more exciting to play, being one of my main fighters this time around. I'm excited to see where Syzoth's story will go in the story expansion and in future installments of Mortal Kombat. That's been the growth of Reptile. What do you think? Are you a fan of this new iteration, or do you prefer the classic Jobber? Let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, this has been Nickfamous. See you later.